I'm often asked, what is causing my heavy periods? What is causing my hair loss? Why am I suddenly feeling anxious when I never have before? What hormone is causing which of these symptoms? And I really want to dive into that today because this is a question I get so often. And there's so many nuances that are really important to understand. So we're going to dive into this today. I'm going to go hormone by hormone. So it might be helpful if you bring out a pen and paper, something that you can start to take some notes with and really start to dial in on some of the things that might be really helpful for you in understanding how your body is functioning. And I am going to be giving you some really practical tips today. So if you start to identify, oh, yes, I have a lot of these symptoms of excess estrogen, I'm going to be giving you some actionable tips to really start addressing that estrogen excess picture. And I will do that for all of the other hormones that we're talking about today. So I'm going to get into estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, testosterone, thyroid. Those are the ones that we're going to be covering today. So get your pen and paper ready, and we're going to just dive right in. And I am going to start with elevated estrogen. Estrogen, I think, has been maligned in social media, but it's a really important hormone. So I think, I really want to lead with that and understanding that estrogen is not a bad hormone. We need estrogen. We have receptors for estrogen on all of the cells, on all of the tissues and organs throughout our body. So it's a really important hormone to have on board. It becomes problematic, though, when there is too much of it. Or more often, what I see happening is not so much that we have too much estrogen, it's that it's not being broken down properly in the liver or it's not being eliminated from the liver from the gut. So it's hanging around, it's oxidizing, it's building up. That's when it becomes problematic. So what are some symptoms that we might see associated with elevated estrogen? Well, heavy, long, painful periods, headaches and migraines, especially before your period, excess weight, especially around the hips, thighs, and bum, PMS, PMDD, endometriosis, adenomyosis, fibroid cysts, polyps, fibrocystic breasts, breast tenderness, soreness, swollen, tender breasts, especially in the luteal phase or in the week or so leading up to your period, bloating, puffiness, or water retention, gallbladder problems, or if you've had your gallbladder removed, and brain fog. So what can we do to start supporting high estrogen? Eat cruciferous veggies daily. So cruciferous veggies would be things like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, those sorts of things. Avoid caffeine, avoid xenoestrogen. So really start thinking about cleaning up the products that you use in and around your body, your makeups, your hair care products, your lotions, your cleansers, your soaps, home cleaning products, tampons and pads, all of those sorts of things. Really start cleaning those up. As much as possible, eat organic, grass-fed and antibiotic-free meats and organic produce if you can. Avoid dairy. Eat lots of fiber, especially flax seeds. I love flax seeds here for binding up and eliminating estrogen. Now, when you're adding fiber, you want to be adding fiber slowly so you don't constipate yourself, and you also want to be increasing your water intake. Avoid alcohol because that's going to raise your estrogen levels. You want to support liver and gut health, and also test. Testing is so important here to see what estrogens and estrogen metabolites are really causing your symptoms. Okay. Now, a note here, I'm going to go into estrogen deficiency, but you're going to start to notice with these high estrogen symptoms, they can also be due to or a combination of also low progesterone, but not always. And this is another reason why testing is so important. Okay. All right, let's talk about estrogen deficiency. This is where you can start seeing hot flashes and flushes, night sweats. I also see these hot flashes, flushes, and night sweats. I've also seen these with cortisol and nervous system dysregulation. There could be frequent urination or urinary incontinence, bladder infections, insomnia, bone loss or osteoporosis, vaginal drawing or painful intercourse, dry eyes, other mucous membranes, dry, loose skin, itchy ears. Now, if you're finding yourself in a position where you're identifying with these low estrogen symptoms, you've had some testing done, you're low estrogen on that testing, eat phytoestrogens. Things like organic tempeh, pomegranate arils, pumpkin seeds, chickpeas. I really like flax seeds here as well. Don't overexercise, avoid caffeine, and really support your adrenals and nervous system. All right, low progesterone. By the way, supporting adrenals and nervous system, I'm going to get into that in a little bit when we talk about cortisol, okay? Low progesterone, we can start to see spotting, insomnia, anxiety, depression, irritability, mood swings, PMDD, irregular periods. So they're becoming a little bit more erratic. You don't have predictability around your periods. Headaches around your period, itchy or restless legs, especially at night, feeling like you gained 3 to 5 pounds before your period. You're having more frequent cycles moving into perimenopause. So maybe your period is coming more regularly than every 28 days. Maybe it's every 21 to 26 days, for example. Poor coordination or increased clumsiness. Now, how can we support progesterone? We can eat sesame and sunflower seeds. We can cut down on caffeine. We can avoid alcohol, really prioritize sleep, and support your adrenals and nervous system. Okay, this is going to become a common thread that you're going to hear me talk about. Let's get into cortisol. High cortisol symptoms can feel like you're constantly racing from one thing to the next. You're feeling jittery, unfocused, or moody in general, but especially when you're hungry. You're tired and wired at night. So your head hits the pillow and your mind is racing and you can't calm down. You struggle to calm down before bed, kind of like you get that second wind into the evening or late into the night. Anxiety and nervousness, sugar cravings, struggle to calm and slow down. You're easily angered. You have hair loss or thinning, insomnia, water retention, memory lapses, frequent colds or flus, heart palpitations or high blood pressure even. You have a muffin top, like that roll of fat around the waistline. Bone loss, high blood sugar. So that could look like prediabetes, diabetes, or insulin resistance on a blood test. It could feel like shakiness between meals. You could have indigestion, ulcers, or GERD, or even irregular periods. We'll see that too with high cortisol. Now, in contrast, low cortisol can feel like insomnia. You're having difficulty staying asleep at night. You're waking up regularly, especially between 1 and 4 a.m. You feel fatigue or burnout. You need caffeine to wake you up in the morning and to keep you going throughout the day. You feel exhausted. You have salt cravings, sugar cravings, low blood pressure, postural hypertension. So this is when you get up from a sitting or lying position and you feel dizzy, lightheaded, almost like you start to black out a little bit. You have a negative outlook. You're easily emotional. You fall to tears easily. You have energy crashes, especially in the afternoon. You have a hard time getting out of bed in the morning. You have decreased problem-solving skills. You bruise easily. You struggle to get over simple colds or infections, or you catch colds or flus easily. Low blood sugar or unstable blood sugar. You've been treated for thyroid issues. You start to feel better, but then suddenly you're feeling heart palpitations, or you have rapid or irregular heartbeats. You might have mild depression, nausea or vomiting, digestive issues, especially alternating constipation and diarrhea or indigestion, muscle weakness, decreased ability to handle stress, or you feel stressed all the time, or everything just feels harder than it used to. You feel like you're having trouble coping, even with the basic tasks in life, and you have low libido. So something that you're going to notice here is that there is a lot of overlap between high and low cortisol, which is why it's so important, again, to run testing, okay, to see what's happening with your entire nervous system picture, what's happening at the adrenal level with your cortisol, your diurnal pattern. Are you making enough cortisol? Are you keeping it active? What are all of these metrics telling us? And how can we support your nervous system adrenals? Well, prioritize sleep, Set appropriate boundaries. And this is really being honest with yourself around how much time you're spending in front of a screen. How much time are you spending scrolling on social media, watching TV at night, aimlessly, numbingly clicking through or swiping through on your phone? How are you managing your calendar? Are you saying yes to everything? Are you making enough time to really focus on your own self-care? Have that really honest conversation with yourself about what you're taking on. Exercise appropriately. We really want to be avoiding high intensity cardio and instead focus on walking, Pilates, yoga, bar, and weights. Breathe deeply. As women, we breathe so shallowly and we forget to breathe. We want to breathe deeply into the diaphragm. Honor your ultradian rhythms. So take regular short breaks throughout the day to, go outside, get some natural light, get some fresh air, do some deep breathing, do some stretching. Maybe say some affirmations or even a quick 2-minute meditation. Practice that self-care. Let's talk about the thyroid. Hypothyroidism or low thyroid function can look like muscles feeling stiff in the morning. You fail to feel rested even after sleeping long hours. You have heart palpitations. You're nauseous in the morning. That postural hypertension. So, again, getting up from a seated or lying position and feeling dizzy, lightheaded, or almost like you're blacking out. Cold hands and feet, sensitivity to cold, hair thinning, dry, brittle, dull, or lifeless hair loss from the outer third of the eyebrows, flaky, dry, or rough skin, sleeplessness, restlessness, sleep disturbances. You have poor short-term memory or forgetfulness, poor response to exercising. You've got hypoglycemia, high cholesterol, constipation. You feel easily emotional. You have low libido. You gain weight easily, and it's very hard to lose. You have difficulty concentrating. You're easily distracted. There's a yellowish tint, perhaps, to your skin on your hands and feet, cracks on the bottoms of your heels. You have clogged sinuses, low pulse rate, low body temperature, recurrent infections, depression, headaches, puffiness of the face or eyes, swelling of the hands or ankles, irritability, mood swings, and menstrual period irregularities. That could be heavy, long, painful periods, irregular periods, fibroid cysts, PMS. You seeing there's some overlap here, okay? Hyperthyroidism or overactive thyroid can feel like an elevated heart rate. So you're beating above 90 beats per minute at a resting state. You have heart palpitations, hands shake or tremble. There's strong drive followed by exhaustion, difficulty gaining weight. You have protruding eyeballs, irritability, nervousness, or hyperactivity, insomnia, frequent bowel movements like diarrhea style, excessive sweating without exercise, and you feel warm and flushed even at room temperature. Now, how are we going to support the thyroid? First of all, test. Please test. Get a full thyroid panel. This is not just TSH. This is free T3, free T4, reverse T3, TSH as well, and your thyroid antibodies. You definitely want to be supporting the nervous system and adrenals. You want to investigate gut health because thyroid conversion, that active T3 hormone, gets converted in the gut, also in the liver. So investigate liver health and function here too. Support proper blood sugar because insulin and blood sugar is really going to impact your thyroid function. And make sure you're eating enough. So many of the ladies that I work with are not eating enough. They're not getting sufficient carbs, protein, and fat to support thyroid function. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind here, okay? You've probably noticed that there's overlap among hormones, right? There's heavy periods that you're going to see in excess estrogen, deficient progesterone, thyroid dysfunction. We cannot hyper isolate individual hormones. We also can't just isolate hormones in general. They're just chemical messengers, remember. They're being impacted by things like your blood sugar and insulin, by your nervous system, the boundaries that you set, your gut health, your liver function. We really need to be thinking holistically beyond your hormones and run proper testing. I love the Dutch hormone test and the GI map gut health test in particular. Now, remember, perimenopause is not the time to try to DIY your health and hormones. It's going to leave you feeling frustrated, isolated, confused, overwhelmed, and it isn't going to get you very far ahead. This is where you really need to be working with a practitioner who can decipher not only what your symptoms are telling you about your health, but can also run the right functional tests for you, help you to get to the root causes of your symptoms beyond the hormones. This is how you're going to regain your energy, your vitality to support your longevity so you can thrive versus just survive. Now, I'm going to link here to my perimenopause guide, also my women's health virtual clinic, so you can learn more there about how you can work with me and my team. You can also come find me over on Instagram. I'm at stephanie.sing.balancedhealth. I would love to connect with you there. And also remember to like and follow me and get notifications when I share more content for you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.